Hi, welcome to another edition of the Gray Area. So it was a very busy week in Albany, a lot of things going on, so we'll just touch on everything that was happening in the week. So first of all, let's talk about the budget, the one-house budget. So let me just tell you a little bit about the budget process. So the governor proposes the budget, so it becomes the executive budget, and then in 30 days, she has the ability to amend her executive budget, which she did, and she included 5 prison closures in there. And then after that, the Senate and the Assembly each produce resolutions or a resolution each that amends the executive budget, and that's where we're at right now. And then there's reconciliation between the two different budgets, actually 3 different budgets. There's the Assembly budget, there's the Senate budget, and then there's the executive budget. So that reconciliation process takes place. We have joint budget conference committee meetings, and so all of that gets over the next couple of weeks here, and hopefully we have an on-time budget, and then we come together for a final document. So having said that, last year's budget was proposed at $229 billion. It was amended and approved and adopted at $237 billion. That was last year. This year, the proposed budget came in $15 billion higher than the previous year's adopted budget, which was $252 billion this year. And the Assembly one-house budget proposes $19 billion above last year's adopted budget at $256 billion. We are spending at a pace that is well beyond the CPI. The ongoing dispute between the corrections officers and the governor's office continues with Executive Order 47.3, and that is essentially a prohibition that prevents correction officers, the 2,000 that were fired and gaining, the 2,000 that were fired from holding any other position in any level of government, state, county, local government. Anything that is subject to civil service, they are prohibited from obtaining a job there. She suspends municipal home rule, local laws, resolutions, ordinances, everything that is the ability to employ one of those corrections officers. So this is by far an overreach of the executive authority and prohibiting corrections officers from seeking other additional employment in New York State. So I would assume that this is going to get litigated. Oneida County is already filing a lawsuit on this issue, and we'll continue to monitor this. We did do a letter to the governor. We asked for a 48-hour stay for the corrections officers that were terminated, for them to reconsider their position and return. We are down 2,000 officers. We're already at 70% of full staffing. We cannot run our prison system absent of those people working or those employment levels. We were fortunate to have a visit from my good friend from West Carthage, New York, when I grew up with him, Tom Homan. He's the border czar under the current administration in Washington, and we had a joint conference committee meeting with the Senate and the Assembly, talked about various issues with border security and territorial integrity for the United States, which he is working on diligently. So as you know, I represent the northern border, so it's very near and dear to the district that I represent. So we had a press conference, highlighted the green light law, critically important that our law enforcement along the northern border are able to work together. Right now, that prohibits local law enforcement, state police, local sheriffs, or anybody else from participating or working with ICE officials or anything else on the federal side. And, that is just inherently what their job is intercommunication, interagency operation. So this prohibits that, and we're looking to repeal that. So the green light law prohibited cooperation. We're looking for a repeal. We highlighted that in a press conference, and the reaction in Albany was sharp, as you will see. Watch this video. And this is people that are elected to represent New Yorkers in Albany acting like this. Our visitors this week, they're thinning out a little bit because we're working on the budget. We had the Medical Society of New York again, and then we had SUNY Awards for EOP. very important to recognize these individuals who come from lesser means and are able to further their education. So they overcome a lot to get an education. We're very proud of them and what they do. We had the PBA in town as well, Police Benevolent Association. We had a breakfast with them. We had New York Pike Trades. They were also visited us and talked about some bills that were important to them. So as always, it's an honor and a privilege to represent you in Albany. If you have any questions, please call my office.